What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Toddcast. We're back at it today on the Cat 309CR excavator with the Bushmaster 5-foot mowing deck. Today we are doing more of what we were doing yesterday, which is mowing around all these fields because the customer, while bush hogging, has sticks and limbs and everything else slapping him in the face. So we are going to fix that. I'll be talking some of the time, sometimes I won't. I'll just talk about what I'm doing as I do it for people who are new to the channel. Again, to start the head up on one of these 309s, once you go in here, and actually I've got a preset for continuous flow right there. You see the icon come up, press and hold this up, that'll turn green. When it's up to a certain speed, idle it all the way up. Put this where we can see cutting from both sides. And it varies whether I mow from bottom up toward the top, but in general, with the blade spinning this way, I make my cuts from right moving left. Now once I've cut everything loose and it's on the ground, I'll tend to go straight down on top of it because that brushy stuff tends to hang and just get pushed out. I'm still getting used to how touchy these controls are on this 309. The Yanmar that I normally use is not touchy at all. It's very slow. This machine having the two pumps, as you track along, the head doesn't lose speed, so you can technically just track along like this, cutting things loose, and then you can go into stick steer mode. Just like that. And you can control your swing while you're in stick steer mode. I'll make sure I've got this. And you can just use this side to swing. Personally, I like having both joysticks at my disposal here. Not sure if we have a full day, another full day of mowing. I do still have my cold, so I apologize. You're only going to have to hear me sniffing a little bit. Another channel that's very similar to mine right now is V-Belt and Son. I really enjoy watching those guys work. So if you're into this kind of thing, and somebody puts a lot of effort into his editing, does a really good job, check them out. He's a really good operator. He runs a Kubota KX80. As far as the dirt work type stuff, check out my man Dirt Boss, Masonry and Excavating, another great channel. Dirt Perfect. All of those guys are really good to watch, entertaining. But y'all just stay on my channel as much as you want to. I know this stuff can get a little bit monotonous. You can see with this head I can reach way up there. There's no substitute for this cat machine. I've worked for this customer a couple of years ago. Me and him were talking this morning. He is very glad I bought this machine. He gets a lot more of his money's worth, and I'm able to charge him the same running this machine as the Yanmar. The Yanmar burns 17 to 19 gallons a day. This machine does burn. I went 8 hours on this machine the other day, and I burned about 22.5 gallons, but we got about 3 times the production. You don't have to, when you got limbs hanging way out like that over a field, you don't have to cut them all the way back. You just got to cut the ends off to where it takes that weight off of the limb, and they'll usually spring up pretty good. Now see a big limb like that, well, you definitely don't want to mow from left to right. You can hear the engine change a little bit. Let me just get this down. I see that's a little oak or hickory. Those things are pretty tough to get. This customer's got a really big tractor with a bush hog. So he's gonna come back once I get done and I chop this stuff up for the most part and chop this stuff up a little bit more. Now some customers, you guys who are thinking about getting into this, they don't want this debris out in the field. If that's the case, once you cut them loose, you kind of got to get out and throw them back into the woods or use your mower to push them back. Right now I'm running on 70% flow that this head can potentially run at. Or actually it's 70% of what this 309 can pump. There's gonna be sometimes y'all can see what I'm cutting and sometimes you can't, just because the stuff is so small. You can go in the upper left hand of your screen. There's 3 dots side by side, and you can actually go up to where you're watching the playback speed of this machine, or the video, up to 2 times faster than real time. If you're just wanting to see what it does. See how it's pushing that stuff, so you just go up on top of it, get it down to ground level as best you can. When I come back through here, I'll make another cut. Get these limbs out of his face. I'm gonna proactively, all these little bitty saplings, I'm gonna go ahead and mow them down. That thing ain't wanting to get with the program, is it? Now one way you can keep from tearing people's yards and fields up is you can stick that arm out and it gets a little weight off the rear end, and these will turn a lot easier and they tear the ground up a lot less, as you can see. Maybe you can see that. I'll do about 45 minutes of real-time footage today. I wish, like anything, back when I was thinking about buying one of these, that there was some footage of the 309, but it's such a new machine that there's just no video of it. Oh, there's a metal stake there I about forgot about. That's his property line. Some weird property lines on these, and believe me, that's another thing in this business. You better watch those property lines, because you get off and mow somebody's property and don't want it mowed, they are going to let you know about it. always just mow everything down. See, like I could have Adam if this was a property owner that didn't own a bush hog. I could have Adam following behind me. I'm gonna end up knocking that thing off there. And he could be just running over these piles of things after I cut them loose, and this would be a really, really efficient operation. Let's see if I can just nip that little limb off there. There he went. Those back just a little bit more. I'm telling you, this machine is stout. Now I'll cut from left to right here because that stuff's so small. Now there are cases where I've got to keep it cleaner. This just isn't one of those. This customer is one of those, he likes to do stuff. He likes to get out here and work his property, it seems like. He'll be glad to have some bush hogging to do. I love bush hogging. Absolutely love it. Yeah, let's see. Let's just go ahead and knock this one down. That limb is, he wanting to stay on me, ain't he? Get off there. Get off me. Hateful. Well, I guess he's just going along for the ride, isn't he? It'll fall off here in a minute. There it went. I had a mirror on that thing the other day. I'll be doggone. I might have to find me a better location for this, ain't I? I had a mirror on that. This thing I was cutting from left to right and it hit something. I had that mirror out here. It hit this pillar and bounced and went right into that mirror. If you look on my Yanmar, there's not a single mirror or light on it that's working. They do make a forestry package for this that I may end up having to invest in. It's got guards over the lights and everything like that. This thing don't leave much. Not much. You run a bush hog over this stuff real low, you won't have nothing left. Alright, I'm gonna go back down through here, dress this. I'm gonna mow that stuff on the ground a little bit more and we'll check back in. Just got through going over that stuff one more time, one last look. So it looks rough, you know. You go into these things and mulch it up. It's not going to be like a landscaper went through here. We do forestry mulching and mowing. We're wanting to get it down and functional. That limb off of there. All right, let's go around this other side. Start on it. Here we are on the next leg of the journey. You can see we just got a whole lot of little bitty jack pines brushing out into his pasture. You can kind of see hanging over. When he tries to bush hog by here, just slap him in the face. We're gonna fix that real good. You do this just like you're bush hogging a field, only it's vertical. Same thing. Love the smell of pine in the morning. I'll make this cut and leave the stuff on the ground so you guys can see just how much material we're really pushing back here. It really doesn't matter how you go, as long as you keep that head in the brush, it's gonna cut it. Now see, it really opened up right there. See, I was just leaving those laying. You could take a tractor and bush hog right across that. Instead, I'm gonna go over it and do kind of like that and work it down. That's my customer there. I told him as long as he stayed directly behind me and kept this machine between brush and himself, I can keep him safe. But if he gets off to either side, that's where it gets dangerous, because that's where everything's flying. And believe me, this thing will sling stuff 200-300 feet sometimes. See that stuff? You get into the bigger stuff, it'll really sling it bad. Let me get a little bit away from these. Ideally, I like to keep my boom up and my stick out about at a 90 or less. That just seems to be where it's the most comfortable to get that vertical shear of cut. You gotta want your lines hanging down too, of course. They are not cheap. Leave that stuff on the ground for you guys to see. You don't want to just leave sticks sticking out close to where he's going to be mowing. We don't want him accidentally putting his eye out or something. Yes, you could, in theory, just track along, leave your head in one spot, and make just 2 or 3 passes, but then you tear the ground up a lot more. That's not something I want to do. Christmas trees laid out down through there, don't it? If you got into mulching and cutting a whole lot of really big limbs, you would definitely want a Lex hand screen, which is a bulletproof type of material. Use this thing just like a hatchet. These back about 2 to 3 feet from the actual edge of the field because I want to buy him several years of not having to have this done again. See if I can hook them bottom limbs up. What I may have to do is come along and chop them downward. Some of them limbs are trying to grow out real low. Trying to. Another thing you could do if a customer's not wanting a bunch of like chopped up chips, you can just go along, use this thing like nippers, cut those limbs loose, come behind with another excavator and dump truck and just pick these bundles up. Real efficient. So I'm trying to get some help hired so we can make these processes more and more efficient for our customers. That ain't one to cut where it's nothing at all. Another reason I like to just use my controls is I can watch those hydraulic lines carefully, not hook them or tear them out when there's a bunch of debris on the ground. This is just stuff sitting on the ground. You just take your head, mow, and each time you go over it, there'll be less and less. Now, there again, with a tractor and bush hog, you can make about one pass and do what it takes me 2 or 3 swings with this head to mow that stuff on the ground. See how that opens that up? A lot easier for the deer to walk through now. They need a place to bed down for the night. I may actually ask a customer possibly if he wants to just take his tractor over this stuff. I mean, it's just pine, it's not. You can take brand new blades on this thing, as long as you didn't get into the dirt or rocks, they wouldn't dull these blades at all. This pine would. It'd take a long time anyway. too fast that time. That's just like anything else. Learning the speed that you cut at is just an experience thing. You gotta just learn it. Depends on the quality of cut you want, how fine you want to end up. This is real bush hogging right here. This is bush hogging more than like forestry mulching. Just gonna go ahead and nip these tops off. Otherwise they're gonna, if you just nip the outer little twigs as those little pines grow, they're gonna wanna lean out because the weight is not distributed on the tree very good. So, and at some point you take so many limbs off a sapling, you're better off just to go ahead and take it all the way down. Just a quick comment on this machine. It's climate control. You can actually set the temperature you want it to be, the frost. I'm just really pleased with this machine. Obviously Cat doesn't sponsor me. There's a lot bigger channels that use Cat. They don't pay me to say any of this, but I'm very pleased with the service that Carolina Cat's given me so far and the quality of the machine. So they deserve a little bit of applause. Now if they start creating bad machines and I get them, I'll tell you all about that. Or the quality of their machines go down, but I highly doubt they will. You don't get a big name for no reason. I love running these things. This is a good business to be in. It's expensive. This machine, this head together is, I won't say $170,000. So you've got to be prepared for a huge financial commitment. For some people, this is bigger than their house. Bigger financial commitment, that is. Keep it greased, and it'll last you a long time. Do a job for your customers that you would want done for yourself, and you should be good. If you got any kind of standards, that is. So I'm going to do this right here all the way down through there, I think, just so you guys can see the difference that this particular machine does on all of that stuff, and I'll check back in, let you guys see how it turns out. All right, folks, there it is. Didn't really leave much of anything. The rain's trying to move in, so we'll call it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making it for you. You guys be sure to drop this hillbilly a like, a comment, and consider subscribing if you're not already. We love you, and we'll see you on the next one.